Hello again and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we have a 1v1 between the legends that are rAndy and Teddy, both with super high OSs, level of 58 for Pro rAndy and 57 for Teddy. These are two of the top players in Bar, so we're going to have a very good 1v1 map today. Speaking of map, we are on the classic map of Comet Catcher. You see this quite regularly in 1v1s and team games. And we are seeing a similar start here from both players, who are both chosen to go in the middle. A slight difference in start buildings though. As we zoom over to Teddy here, we can see he's gone double max solar LLT. And rAndy has just gone double max and walked straight for the third one. Now, this is quite a flat map as we zoom out. Lots of room to move around. Not much use for bots here, with the exception of these slight little dips and crevices along here that bots could be useful. However, with the movement speed issue of bots, it would be quite difficult. And what we actually do see is both players here starting with vehicles. Both players are also arm on this map, so no Cortex in sight for us. Now, what can we expect? That's hard to say. I am nowhere near as skilled as these players, so they might have some in-depth plans in mind for this game. However, we expect both players' comms generally to walk towards the middle here, fight over the middle. One person will get this section here in the middle, and we'll probably see us start off with some scouts, then into blitzes, and we may see some artilleries more likely going to be played. This is quite a high metal map, so it wouldn't surprise me if we end up seeing maybe some Tech 2 even. However, normally, because of the size, it is just a swarm of units of Tech 1 variety. Now, we're about to see the first bit of harass coming in here from Teddy. But he is already ready with the defense here with the scouts. He's going to try and push the scout up to the comm, but Teddy is not paying attention for that. And interestingly enough, both commanders have chosen to walk up to the double mechs just north of them instead of walking towards the middle here. And because of the early choice of LLT by Teddy, this scout is basically not going to be able to do anything. And so with the initial use of these scouts pretty much gone, we'll probably see a transition over to blitzes for both players. May see scouts used in a method of just keeping them off to the side, and this rAndy scout actually managed to do pretty good here. We've got a lot of spectators watching here, and this may be correct by the spectator of maybe one too many. He is excessing on energy right now. So maybe didn't need that one additional solar right this second. And yes, that scout doesn't actually get anything off. But we are starting to see the transition to blitzes from both players here. Actually, I say that. Not a single one has come out from rAndy yet. rAndy being very greedy with his start here of pumping out a shed ton of engineers and only engineers. We're going to start seeing a transition to actual combat vehicles from him yet. And what he is doing, as you can see here, very unorthodox strategy, but one that works, is he is building a wall of solars. Solars are quite tanky. It's going to take a scout a while to chew through one of them, but that will protect these metal extractors without the need of necessarily building a laser tower. Now, after this engineer has built, he's building a bunch of blitzes. And now we see the commanders start their slow walk into the middle of the map. But Teddy here, with the lack of units, only just starts to see these bunch of units spawning into his radar range. He does only have 2 blitzes right now. Not ideal. And he's trying to rush out and laser tower with a double engineer on that now, but it's not going well. That's true. Actually, this engineer is not able to build. until this guy gets done. That's a wasted engineer build power there. As we go back to the main view. So, when it comes to who's going to win this one, very hard to say. Very, very hard to say. Both players here are top tier when it comes to 1v1s. Super experienced. We do see some very open expansion here from Randy. And Randy being pushed back and forced to defend right now. He's not doing any probing attacks. No aggression from him whatsoever. And this may be giving Randy a bit of an early disadvantage. However, don't forget, metal is metal at the end of the day. If Teddy drops these blitzes in his base, then that's some free metal for Randy. And we see something blew up over here. And there we go, the blitzes are managing to take them out quite a bit. Although Randy's losing blitzes here for nothing. And not going too well for him on that front. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map here, we see Teddy and Randy starting to face off. Bunch of blinks. Yeah, Teddy now has 2 construction turrets, whereas we see Randy only having engineers, and he's behind on units, I would argue, and he's still building a lot of engineers out. Still has a lot of energy excess right now as well. So the Randy build is not going quite so well right now, but we're going to see a bit of aggression coming in here from Randy, as he may get a couple of metal extractors, but unfortunately I don't think he's paying attention, because he's probably paying attention to this north flank. And where is Randy currently paying attention to? Over in his base. Trying to defend himself rather than concentrate on his own attack. And he's worried about losing that one mech, but he does manage to get a single mech that was there and not lose too much. Now, what we are seeing is both players have built frontline bot labs. Both players are also going maces. The only difference is Teddy is already 3 maces ahead of Randy. And these will make very short work of the laser towers that are the only thing defending each other's commander at the moment. Now, one advantage Randy has in this situation is he has plenty of energy, so he can degun if needed. Meanwhile, Teddy is a bit short on energy. He is starting to build some up, but with the additional build power of those construction turrets, it's going to eat into his energy quite easily. And that radar instantly blows up. And Randy desperately trying to rush out a few more maces right now, but with both commanders having the same amount of build power on this front here, unless he gets the res bot, which he almost does, but unfortunately manages to get away in time. We need some outside intervention to help with this fight right now. Maybe some D-guns from Randy might turn the tide here, using that energy advantage he has. Actually letting his comm get 3 damage on him right now. And he's not really caring too much. Health on a commander is a resource that, you know, you must spend sometimes. And if that's going to keep him being able to push out more units and turn the fight, then so be it. Meanwhile, he is losing economy to a couple of blitzes roaming around. He's also doing the same, though, over here. And, yeah, it's an interesting turn. They get a couple more here as well. Good economy damage from Randy now. And both sides fairly even in the middle again. I would say that Randy has a substantial more maces now, though. He lost none. Lost 1. And Teddy lost quite a few. At least 5 or 6. Quickly in this break here, we're just going to take a quick look at the stats. We see that damage dealt, Randy is way ahead of Teddy. Units killed, again, way ahead. But the most important factors here are as metal produced and energy produced. Energy excess here of Randy of 33k. So a lot of energy wasted there by rAndy. You also see the Blitz here managing to get a metal extractor and 4 solars. A big chunk of solars to go up in smoke. Meanwhile, rAndy's commander here in a very difficult spot, about to get surrounded by a bunch of blitzes. The bot lab is going to go up in smoke, but we see Stouts coming out on the field from the vehicle lab here to help rAndy hold this position a little longer. The Resbots here, though, as well, are going to be keeping these maces alive, and if rAndy loses this reclaim field, that's a lot of metal to be going to Teddy here. rAndy grouping everything up, not wanting to get surrounded by the blitzes. And most of the mace is now gone, with just Stouts left. However, blitzes still coming out from Teddy here. I'm surprised there wasn't a single Resbot out from rAndy, though. This is quite a lot of Requiem, and his commander especially could really do with some form of repair. Commander down to 46% health, but with 2k metal in that area there. A lot of metal to be left alone. Meanwhile, another bunch more blitzes are going to be getting some economy damage. And same up north here. It's free reign here from Teddy to go and harass this economy. Splitting off single guys in between the main fight going on. Getting all of the metal extractors of rAndy's back line here. And that single LLT is not going to stop that. Meanwhile, rAndy using his commander here to try and heal stuff up. Keep the fight going. Got the harass coming in here. Getting the radar, getting some power. So a total of about 4 or 5 metal extractors lost for rAndy's side. And rAndy now actually having a metal surplus. And actually being on an energy deficit for a change. rAndy knowing he needs to pull back now. Doesn't have what he takes to hold there. With his commander half health, he can't really contest. Looking at the view here, he can see he has the unit disadvantage right now. Wondering if we're going to start seeing a few Janices thrown into the mix, but nothing as of yet. rAndy's struggling to deal with the harass here. A lot of harass going on. And they keep coming through this gap here. And rAndy having to throw everything to stop that he doesn't keep losing that hole. But his commander is now completely exposed. And that 2k reclaim field is gone to Teddy. 2k is 2.3k is a lot of metal. That's basically enough to pay for Tech 2. Almost pay for Tech 2 at least. Now, question is, are we going to see that? Meanwhile, we've got a lovely push here from the north. rAndy's cleaning up a bunch of blitzes that were just left in the open. The EMP of the stealthy mechs is there doing their job and stopping that raid coming past. But these single blitzes that keep getting past are causing him some big problems. Now, we see rAndy here using the advantage of vehicles and the speed to get away, get round the top. He knows the maces are going to take a while to get there, but he probably wasn't expecting this many units, especially the Stouts from Teddy. He does manage to hold those there. His engineers are clearly here for the reclaim. That's another 1.8k of reclaim. Surprised this reclaim field to the south is still there as well. But rAndy's commander in a very tough spot still. Desperately trying to get the reclaim on the north to make up for losing the south, but I don't know. It's further for rAndy's units to move here than it is for Teddy's. While we see this back and forth, quickly checking the bases here, we see no attempt for Tech 2, either player. No move at all from any normal builds. No artillery, no Janices coming out for either player, just pure tank madness as the massive stout armies are going to be built up here. Commander still in a bit of a tough spot, but Randy here building another bot factory, at the south. Now, tanks should trade favorably with maces, especially if they move in, the speed advantage they have. We may be about to see a horrible end to Randy's army here as the north is about to get surrounded. 4 engineers building laser towers, begging to hold off. Please don't kill me, he's saying. Reinforcement stouts are coming in, but so much destruction on this north side, up to 4.7k metal. Both players desperately want to get this metal and do not want to give it away to the other player. Randy's trying to get some reclaim in here. The reclaim bots coming in from Teddy as well. Meanwhile, we see a south side ambush here for blitzes coming in to get some metal extractor damage. Unfortunately, I think Randy's losing this fight as well again. Does not have enough units there. That's going to be a massive amount of metal boost into Teddy. And this is not looking good for Randy here. Randy happy to throw away these engineers as long as he gets the reclaim and stops Teddy getting it. As we quickly zoom out, we see a bunch of pawns being built here for a bit of harass. But, yes, this is not looking good, although the lightning turret does a decent job at keeping the maces at bay. There's left a decent amount of metal on the north here, 2.7k. But biggest issue here is Teddy has a clump of units and Randy's units are just streaming in. He has no concise group of units. And if Teddy can just keep pushing with that group of units, there's not much that Randy can do. Meanwhile, Randy is again losing more of his energy production to just a couple of blitzes. And yeah, not going well. Meanwhile, this big fight in the middle, getting surrounded by multiple sides from the pawns here, is going to help with that flanking damage, which might be what Randy needs to start turning the tide here. Meanwhile, we see Teddy had so much metal, he actually had to build a metal storage. As I said earlier on, I'm surprised we're not seeing some artilleries being played here. A lot of players tend to be using artilleries these days. Oh, a nice push here from Randy, using those pawns that he had to push through, gets a bit of economy damage, but the sheer amount of laser towers just ends that push only after killing a 1. Oh, are we seeing a substantial attempt here at the bot lab? Unfortunately not. Meanwhile, at the back here, this blitz managed to take out all of these wins before it got killed. The MVP when it comes to maces. Meanwhile, you look in this top right hand corner, you can see the production difference here. Teddy with 1.5 energy production, and Randy with only half of that of 700. Economy-wise, maybe affected by reclaim, bear in mind, but Teddy with 124 and Randy with probably going to guess around 50-ish. It says 100 now, but that's probably because there's some reclaiming going on. So, not going too well. However, there is an attack force brewing on the bottom side here from Randy. And Teddy has no units down there. He's starting to send some tanks down there, but it does mean that this middle area is not getting any reinforcements whatsoever. And here we go. Teddy is using that metal surplus he had to transition to Tech 2. Both of his Tech 1 vehicle labs have been reclaimed, and this is it. The Tech 2 is up. And at the same time, now Teddy has to hold off until he can get that Tech 2 unit production up and running. He does have maces still coming out, but it's just a ticking clock now. How much damage can Randy do in this time before Tech 2 units start hitting the field? More harass coming in that same side. Teddy not really able to close that hole. And as we quickly at this break time, we can see a metal excess of Teddy of 2.4k. That is a lot of metal to be wasted. And only 400 excess from rAndy. Metal produced, though, is like almost 8k difference at this point. It's a lot of metal difference. This is a difficult spot for rAndy. He knows that a Tech 2 transition is coming, and he is doing the same himself. The lack of movement just indicates that, hey, I'm going Tech 2. So, what's going to happen now? Of course, first balls are hitting the field. Are we going to see a big push as soon as these balls reach? Or are we going to see a hold off by Teddy to get some economy upgrades first before making that big push? The longer rAndy can hold out for, the better for him. That Tech 2 needs to actually come through with something. He just doesn't have the units here. rAndy on the back foot again, having to push back, losing yet another metal extractor. Hopefully he can at least get the reclaim. It's not much. 1.7k is, well, it's not nothing to be sniffed at, I suppose. Tech 2 is being held back. It's nice slow push here from rAndy on the south side. Rocket bots here just made to take out the laser towers, but with 2 lines of laser towers, we need a lot to get through that. Actually, a heavy laser tower being built at the top here with the intention of taking out the laser towers. Free up this north side, but north side's looking very weak here. Nothing up here at all except for these laser towers. You went around this north top bit, you're at rAndy's base again, and he's got nothing to stop it. The resurrect there of the pop-up turret has caused rAndy to lose another engineer. And here come the Tech 2 bulls. Is that not looking good? Come on, rAndy, I believe in you. Bulls doing their job, soaking up a shed ton of damage. A lot of engineers being lost here from rAndy. Looks like he's won the north fight, but lost the middle fight. Now, if we see a flank attack on this middle section, we may actually see an army wipe here from Teddy if he doesn't do something. But the explosion of those balls just completely obliterating the pawns. Not going to be able to stand up there at all. And this is not looking good for Teddy at all. I mean, not Teddy, sorry. This is not looking good for rAndy. It's looking very good for Teddy. And even the north side is being attacked, and we are actually seeing a fusion reactor coming out from Teddy. He has that much excess economy that he is ready to pump into full Tech 2 economy. This middle section of the map here, rAndy's got no units whatsoever. Rather than chasing up top, Teddy could just push straight through, and I don't know if rAndy would really be able to stop that. This is not looking good for rAndy at all. What can rAndy do to pull this back? Well, I mean, with the Tech 2 transition here, whoever can get that Tech 2 economy up and running the quickest is probably going to be winning this game. And whoever can keep their bulls alive as well. I mean, if you can keep your bulls alive and the opponent keeps losing theirs, then gonna end up winning the Tech 2 trade. And right now that is the case. rAndy has 5 bulls, all of them on the front line, and we only see 2 here from Teddy. Resbot's pumping out a ridiculous amount from the middle. And we're going to start seeing a bit of tick harass here from Teddy as well. Now, So much going on. Such a large area here. We see a massive wall of LLTs down the middle here from Teddy. No small harass is going to get through that at all. We see the res bots also starting to come out from rAndy. He knows he needs to contest these reclaim field and make sure he secures that. Are we seeing any tech 2 economy being built? We are. Fusion is going up, but there is no build power for him to use on it. He has so much metal right now, but with no energy, he can't push anything into it. And he knows that. He's trying to counter it with some solars with his commander, but eating up this metal at the top purely just to stop Teddy getting it. And yes, we're seeing a ping from a spectator here saying that, as we can see, Teddy has queued up Tech 2 bots in the middle. We're going to see a transition to Hounds, perhaps? Or maybe Sharpshooters. He has the energy for it. Sharpshooters will take out those bulls. Pretty much no problem. He's got his own balls to field the front line, and we're actually seeing a nuke being built here from Teddy. There is no way rAndy is prepared for that. Are we going to see a nuke finishing this game off? That'll be interesting to see in a 1v1. Meanwhile, the thing is, though, they have to get his commander. Do they know where his commander is? Probably not. And how are we looking? We have a total of 22 bulls on the field. I can't tell you how many of those are his. 11. So it's basically split down the middle here. 11 each in terms of bulls. And there we go. We see sniper bots coming out from Teddy. Radar bots and jammer bots. This is going to make rAndy's life hell. Are seeing some consoles out on the go, though. Getting that expanded economy on the run. Extra build power to assist. The fusion does go up, but with second fusion not that far behind it. Bulls pushing on the south side here. They're going to push through any units that rAndy has coming out of that bot lab. And he wants to make sure that that is not spotted. However, that ain't going to be the case because Teddy's got scouts. Oh, actually we're seeing the start of some starlights coming out. A couple of them are already hitting the field. Unfortunately, they're not really going to work if he keeps getting either a bunch of ticks and he wastes his shots. Well, these sniper bots are just going to make short work of it. Need to see some tick spam of his own from rAndy here. But also, the nuke is ready. Well, as in the launch was built. We're halfway to the nuke. So if something doesn't happen, if there's no anti-nuke built by rAndy in the next minute or so, we may see a nuke finish here. And the scouts go out. The commander has been spotted. And no anti-nuke in sight. That is not a good sign for rAndy at all. Black's going up. He thinks air's coming in, but it's not. The nuke. All of the balls being lost here from rAndy. Pulsar's going up as well. The sniper bot's tearing in any Tech 2 that appears. And rAndy's comm is moved back. So close. Nuke is going off. But where is it going? Comm? Base? Units? I would presume the base. And there we go. The nuke is off. And that's it. He knows the end has come. As we see the base go up in smoke. And with that, I don't see rAndy coming back from this. He's spamming ticks to try and take some of the damage from the sniper bots, but he has no economy, no production, no tech 2. And unfortunately, this is the end for Randy. As a GG well played goes in, and he gives up. Very nice game there from 1v1. Barely do you even see tech 2, let alone nukes coming in. Very well played, Teddy. It was very back and forth, but unfortunately Randy was always on the back foot from the very beginning. Unfortunately not able to get up enough units to counter Teddy's hold in the middle. And it was only going downhill once he lost that middle point. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this 1v1. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more bar videos. And I'll see you guys next time.